On today's show, we're looking at XX bands. No, not the band XX, but bands that are all women. Who are the ladies that made the playlist? We'll tell you this and more on today's Six Picks Music Club. Welcome to Six Picks Music Club, a music podcast for people who hashtag girl dad. Hey, listener, you're listening to Six Picks Music Club, the music podcast. For each episode, we pick 6 songs based on a theme. Thanks for tuning in every other Wednesday to catch every brand new episode. We really appreciate everyone's support. If our pod was dog years, we'd be finishing up middle school. So if you're listening to the show, you remember what an awkward time that was. Just help us grow it. Share it with your friends. And of course, it helps to do the like and subscribe bit. So just keep up with all our shenanigans as we grow hair in places that we didn't have hair before. If this is your first time, you better lock in because we mean business. Go back and listen to all our old eps, and on your favorite podcast platform, you'll get the idea. I'm your host, Dave, and with me as always are my two best dudes, Russ and Jeff. What's happening, homies?
Reporting for duty, sir.
Oh, Lord.
You're a fucking Eagle Scout. I'm just a whatever's under that. Boy Scout.
A lowly tenderfoot.
A tenderfoot. Why do you always put the emphasis at the end of your sentences? I don't know, sir.
I want to make sure you know that I'm done with my sentence.
Yeah.
Is that
a sentence?
Does that work?
A sentence? Yes. The accent always goes on the last syllable. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a unstressed stress. It's a reverse iambic pentameter. Shakespeare would be shitting himself.
I bet Shakespeare shit himself quite a bit just because, he lived
dysentery in the 1500s.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He's eating chili dogs and playing basketball.
Yeah, he's having a chili dog and he has like a weird wild berry and just can't write or direct his plays for 3 straight days. And everybody's like, what happened to Bill again? Dude, it's the butt thing.
He thought it was a fart
stuff.
and it was not. Let's get it on, as Miles Lane would say. How are we getting into the clubhouse today, Jeffro? What's the password?
Fighting wage gaps and making butt cheeks slap.
Reminds me of a Jay-Z song where he talks about girls. So let's get in there, listener.
I'm getting my regular, which is a quad Americano, and I recognize the barista. I go to this place like almost every day. There's a guy behind me who's probably like 65, beautiful voice. Like he's just one of those guys that has an amazing voice, baritone, deep, like, luscious. I wish that I had that voice instead of sounding like
a Morgan Freeman type
surfer dude,
if you will.
No, like Morgan Freeman kind of has like shake voice, where it's like ha, like that. This guy's like, well, hello, like it's like ooh, like real deep and low, and like it's the equivalent of like a rich espresso. His voice. Anyway, I don't know him, and I just said, dude, you have a voice for radio. Have you ever done radio before? Okay. That's that's a way a man compliments another man. Yeah, because I wasn't like, you have anyway, I was just asking if he did radio, and he goes,
do you know what would go good on that voice box? My dick.
Yeah, he just and everybody's like, gee, God, again? No, but he just goes, I go, you have a voice for radio. Have you ever done radio? And he goes, have you ever listened to radio? Like that? And I was like, yes. I really was like, I had no idea what he meant. And there were no context clues. So I just go like, yes, I have listened to radio. And then he was like, what? And then he goes, she knows what I'm talking about, to the barista. Again, like, and then she goes, no, I don't. And so then,
was this guy actually on the radio?
She's like,
well, that's what that would seem like. Like what he's saying is, have you ever listened to the radio? Because I'm all over that bitch.
Right.
Yeah, but like he didn't say that, and I didn't know what he was talking. And so I just go like, we don't understand why you said what you said. Like just start over. Explain it to us. He goes, I have been interested in being on the radio. And I was like, dude, again, like that doesn't. I was
so
complimenting your
like
voice.
A no to me.
Yeah, it's just like you're saying ambiguous things, and then like I was really doing it like this, like I was spelling it out to him, and he was like, "Well, anyway, there are some really good programs that you don't have to be a professional DJ to do," and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. And I just I got my coffee and walked away. I heel turned. I turned on my heel and walked
I know,
away.
dude.
It was
I have a shitty
nowhere.
podcast. I'm on the radio, dick.
Yeah, but just have you ever listened to the radio? Yeah. Yes.
And that was it, huh? There's nothing else. How crazy.
Yeah, it just was so weird.
It is a weird interaction.
But I also like that he was like, she knows what I'm talking about. And she was like, no, I don't. I don't know what you're talking about. What was the origin of the theme? Tell me the moment of idea. Why did you want to do a For the Ladies up? I feel like our podcast is always for the ladies because we're a feminist podcast, but No,
I don't think that it was like for the ladies. We're like not trying to create something that is exclusively for, women, or I just thought it was an interesting thing to highlight just exclusively women bands.
Especially after 2 heavy episodes.
What were our last 2 episodes?
Religion and news.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I think looking at
switching it up a bit,
some other things, well, it's interesting because I think like when I look at the music of the last 4 or 5 years, I really do feel like it's a lot of women that are pushing the industry, driving the industry, and like creating some of the most interesting stuff. And so
you stole this idea from me.
Like,
hey, Russ, we'll have to run the tape back, but didn't we talk about how all of the most interesting innovations in music are coming from women bands because there's not as much opportunity for them in rap? Because that's what the 2 places where there are innovations happening. Like those are the 2 dominant forms, rap and
women.
Yeah,
okay.
So women don't have as many opportunities in rap because it's still kind of a male-dominated genre, but they like do a lot of awesome indie rock, and now like kind of country revival, and they're the ones that are doing good new stuff. We talked about this on the pod, right?
Maybe when we did the Ruckus, Bring the Ruckus, I think so. I brought female rapper, and we talked a little bit about that, but I don't know. Can't remember. That's been a while.
Maybe not.
I think for me, it's more about how, I think there's been maybe a pigeonhole situation where, people only think of women musicians in a certain light, and like as they've continued to expand beyond sort of like the pop rock, persona or the Disney princess, element. Like, I think that it's been really, I don't know, cool. I mean, not that there haven't been amazing women in music for, years and years and years. You look at like even Stevie Nicks and her career and where she started from. But I think that like when I look at the status of rock music and indie music today, like there's not a ton of dude bands that I'm like, oh yeah, that's super interesting. I mean, there are a number of them. I mean, like I think, well, and then Goose has just recently been kind of exposed to sort of this,
Geese. They're not an industry plant, dude. They're not an industry plant. No,
okay. I mean, there's a lot of psyop conversations about how there was evidence that
don't just believe the first fucking thing you read. Like it's all that it is they had a PR firm flog their last album and it worked. Because then they got on SNL and shit, and everybody's listened to it, even though they're an unusual band. It's kind of like when the Sufjan Stevens guy lied and said that he was going to do 50 records in 50 states and 50 records or whatever, which is always made up.
Right.
It's this place called Chaotic Good, the PR firm, and they just create a flood of pages that then generate the content on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff, so that you just constantly get a steady stream of whatever band it is. And so that's probably why you were talking about how that weird French band that wears the mask kept coming up on your Instagram. Yeah. They're doing the same thing. Like, somebody's driving that. They didn't just put that video out and everybody's like, hey, look, they're wearing like puppet curtains for a face and playing complicated solos. Let's watch that. You know? It's
I mean, I think
intentional.
It's a little, sure. I mean, there was like definitely a video with, there was that angine of the chest as it translates. I'm not going to try to say it in French Canadian, but they had some KVRX video that went viral. It's 30 minutes of them playing a bunch of songs, and arguably it is some of the craziest music that I've seen performed live, and just like worthy of attention, and like I think worthy of all of the accolades that it's receiving. In the same regard, I think Geese is like, it's really interesting music, and like I don't think that I'd heard anything like that before, and I don't really care how it was like marketed to me. I thought it was interesting, and I'm enjoying it. But actually, there was I think that dude was recently photographed on a date with Olivia Rodrigo, so there's even a little bit more of a thing.
Good for him.
I don't know. Growing up, absolutely, whatever. Good for both of them. You know, musicians that are finding success and finding relationships through that. Sure, absolutely.
I feel like you're about to say but you just, there it is. Yes.
And I like butts. You're right. Absolutely. I think I'm a big fan of them. So all to say, like, there's lots of interesting music that's being made on, from every gender identity. Absolutely. And I think it's also worth acknowledging and recognizing and celebrating that there are some really powerful women voices that are driving, indie rock music, country music, alt country music in ways that we haven't seen before. So I thought that it would be good to try to highlight that with this episode.
I agree with you about that. I think the most interesting new music is at least in bands with female leads, not necessarily all women bands, but like Beach House and fucking other ones.
And Beach House adjacent bands with women.
Yeah, Wet Leg.
I think we've talked about that a lot on the pod. I mean, we've talked about Amyl and the Sniffers being this crazy band that's amazing,
Amyl
and like
fuck yeah,
is that Taylor or whatnot? What's her name? Russ?
Amy Taylor?
Courtney Taylor, the lead singer of Andy Warhol's?
No. Oh, who's the lead singer of Amyl and the Sniffers?
I told you, Amy Taylor.
Aren't they a Taylor?
Yeah,
Amy Taylor. Amy Taylor. Thank you. Anyway, we've talked. I think I think we've talked pretty substantially about some really, really powerful women-led bands, and so I wanted to take an episode to just like showcase, a couple more where it's like, we're dedicating this one just to ladies that we're super impressed with. So that's kind of where I thought we would kick things off.
Love it.
Pick number 1, baby.
Well, okay, so let's dive in. Our first track tonight is it's on me, so I get to lead us off tonight. And the track we're going to kick off this show with, is maybe the friendliest song off of one of the least friendly albums in the best way of the early 90s. And it was originally released as a single, and then it was the lead single of the 1993 album Pussy Whipped. So we're going to kick off the show with Rebel Girl by Bikini Kill.
That girl thinks she's the queen of the neighborhood. She got the hottest drag in town. That girl, she holds her head up so high. I think I want to be your best friend, yeah. Rebel girl, rebel girl, rebel
Can we talk about Bikini Kill as just an all-time great rock band name?
Oh, yeah. No, I think...
Gotta be a top 25er for me.
Well, and that's big for you, right? Because, like, you regularly call out the terrible band names. And I agree with you on, I think, just about every single one of them. But Bikini Kill is an incredible band name, especially for a band that ultimately becomes the sort of one of the most influential riot girl bands in the entire movement. So, like, this song is kind of anthemic, and it's sort of riot girl feminism. It's written by Kathleen Hanna, and then, like I said, it was released. There's 3 different versions of this track, and it was initially released, I think, on a split EP that they did with this other band. Yeah, Huggy Bear, excuse me. So they're another riot girl band. They did a split EP on... yeah, that's not a great name. So when you look at, like, Riot Girl and Huggy Bear as, like, 2 different...
Yeah, and honestly, which one have you heard of?
Exactly, right.
It goes a long way, the name. 2
paths diverged in a wood, and I took the path, less traveled by Huggy Bear, and they just... they vanished. They did not make it to the pond. But so that's where it first appeared in 1992 on that split EP. And then it was actually released in 93 as a single that was produced by Joan Jett of the Blackhearts and Joan Jett. So that was...
she also played guitar on that.
She did, right. And that's, I think, the version that most people have heard, because that's the one that is a little more polished and it's a little more, like, radio friendly. And but it did ultimately become the lead single off of their debut feature-length album, Pussy Whipped, in 1993 of October, I believe.
But with, I think, Joan Jett producing and playing guitar and backup vocals, whatever. I mean, it's kind of like a passing of the torch there, you know?
No, absolutely, absolutely. And I think Bikini Kill, like, toured and opened for Joan Jett, and they were great friends. And actually, Kathleen wrote a couple of songs for Joan Jett's records, and some great vibes, connections all the way through, which is, I think, emblematic of the band insofar as that, like, this song specifically is about, women supporting women and, like, kind of breaking down that sort of male gaze and kind of flipping it. She's looking at this rebel girl who's like, she's the queen of the neighborhood. And I tell you what, she fucking is. I want to take her home. I want to try on her clothes. I want to be her best friend. It is just like, it's a very empowering track. And that's why I think, a lot of people say it's the anthem of this feminist riot girl movement.
And I dig that it's a song about friendship. It's not really about like wanting to be with her. It's about, like, wanting to be her best buddy because she's such a badass.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a crush in a way of, like, I want to be you so badly, like, you're freaking so awesome,
you,
yeah, like a platonic crush or whatever.
Yeah, dude, it's cool.
Well, and so she actually, what I read was that she'd written this about her friend bassist Kathy Wilcox.
Is that one of our producers for the show?
Yeah,
Kathy Wilcox.
She will.
Will she? Maybe. She's a maybe. But I do have to kind of come clean, because right out of the gate, like, I know we initially said that this theme was going to be about bands that were, all women. And I fucked up because, like, I didn't remember that Billy Karen is the guitarist of the Bikini Kill, because he didn't tour with them on the last reunion tour, and I did see them 2 years ago in Chicago at the Salt Shed with Bobby and JC, because we were there for Pearl Jam shows, and they played on Thursday night and Saturday night, so we had a free Friday night, and we just were looking around for other things to do.
While you were holding a burrito, and
that's right. That was
went home and ate the burrito
while watching the Kevin Costner Western Part 1.
Horizon. Yeah. That is accurate. That was not the night that we saw Bikini Kill, truth be told.
But yeah, I just meant it was on that same trip.
Same trip. No, for sure. And I think worth mentioning that like this was a transformative show insofar as like it was a show that I saw before I almost died and then didn't die and then got to eat a burrito. So that was pretty cool. But I have to apologize to both you guys that right out of the gate, I'm fucking the theme by playing a track that actually has a dude as the lead guitarist. So,
Well, it's good to know that Jeff gave you PTSD from the last episode.
yeah, well, you know, what are you going to do?
Oh, is that why he's so thoroughly apologizing? Because I
Correct.
wore him out
Yes.
about...
I believe so.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that one, Dave.
I
wasn't
just
gonna wear
want
you
to
out at all
acknowledge
this
when
time.
I've stepped outside the guardrails of the show that I set for myself, and you know, hey, nobody's perfect.
What
I'm
is
certainly
that
not.
you set such high standards for yourself? You know,
Listen,
that
I do it for the listener. I do it for you, listener. I want to do a good show for you and give you good content.
for you in Azerbaijan, Indonesia, and Turkey. Yeah. Hey, shout out to all you people in Baku. Here's the thing. Here's how we're different from your government in that when we say that we're going to follow standards, we actually fucking follow those standards. Your government does not rebel.
And when
know?
we make mistakes, we own up to them. We say like, hey, that's on me. I'll take the L on this. Anyway, we got singer Kathleen Hanna, we got guitarist Billy Kieran, we got bassist Kathy Wilcox, and we got drummer Toby Vale, who incidentally coined the spelling of girl in the Riot Grrrl movement, which is GRRL. That was pretty fun.
Is it two dudes? Is it girl named Toby?
No, it's one dude. A girl named Tony Vale.
Tony. I thought you said Toby.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
No, for sure.
Apologies.
So, yeah, no, this is just like a fun.
didn't
Did you guys
read the
ever see that
Wikipedia
movie,
page.
Moxie? You ever see Moxie? The Amy
No.
Poehler movie?
Maybe. Yes.
Came out-
What is Moxie
That sounds
about?
right.
It's like about the Riot Grrrl movement, but it's like the Amy Poehler character was a mom and she was really big into the Riot Grrrl movement in the 90s, and then the daughter who's in high school comes across it and then starts making these zines and stuff and kind of like reintroduces it to the high school. I don't know, I enjoyed it a lot.
That's fun, dude. That sounds, yeah.
I think Amy Poehler actually directed it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix movie.
I will watch it.
So anyway, this is a track that's kind of a modern blueprint for, you know, women supporting women. And you can pretty much draw a straight line from here to Olivia Rodrigo, Billie Eilish, and, you know, embracing that emotional honesty and female-centric narratives. So it's like...
Has anybody read Kathleen Hanna's memoir?
No, I haven't. Have you?
Yeah, it's supposed to be good. Yeah, I have not. There's kind of like a list of memoir. What's the plural of memoir? Memoir that I need to read.
It's not memoirs?
Obviously not memoirs. Come on, guy. It's French. We don't fucking just pluralize things simply and where you say all of the letters. No. I'm making fun of French, not you, dude.
Which wars are you talking about? I'm talking about memoirs. Memoirs over there.
You know,
Memoirs.
you read that
Hey.
one written by John Le Carre?
Yeah, did you read that memoir by John Le Carre? I love memoirs, man. Just people talking about themselves. So anyway, no, there's one by her, and there's one by the bassist for Hole, Melissa something Alder.
Etheridge.
It's a three name last name. It's like and it's French. Speaking of Alf de Mer or something like that. Alf du Mer. But anyway, maybe it's German. Fuck, dude, I don't know anything anymore. But she is apparently really smart and interesting, and that's supposed to be a good one too. Anyway, we've got to catch up on our memoir.
Well, no, I think
soon.
Yeah. And I think we've talked about before, but like she and Adam Horowitz, Ad Rock from the Beastie Boys are married, and they are still married. And you know, kind of cool that like Ad Rock has kind of gone from his sort of we've talked about the criticism of early Beastie Boys stuff, and while they were doing satire that maybe wasn't as feminist or pro-feminine, point of views, that he's been able to reverse that field and then lock down one of the heroes, one of the Mount Rushmore ladies of punk music.
That's how I heard about her memoir, because I read an excerpt that's about them. It's like they're cute meat, but it's the opposite of that, whatever that would be.
Meat cute.
I think it's called a meat cute. Yeah, it's not
Meat
a
cute.
cute meat. You got cute meat there, babe.
Gross, dude. I immediately feel bad
If I
about
had
that.
a nickel.
Gross.
Cute meat.
It's also like a unsatisfying hamburger. Be like, hey, this has cute meat, but I'm gonna need something a little bit more substantial.
The little moosh boosh.
Yeah.
Sorry, Smash
Is this
Burger.
a
I need a quarter
slider,
pounder.
dog? Because it says hamburger on the menu.
Your meat is cute. It's cute meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is cute meat, but we're gonna have to go bigger. No. So she's talking about how she had a Beastie Boys poster on the wall, and she was just like crazy for the guy. Like she just thought he was basically like not a celebrity crush, but like he was out there and he's the Beastie Boys and all that stuff. And they ran in different scenes, but she like sought him out, and then it worked. I think that's pretty cool.
No, this is a fun one that I've gotten to play for my kids, and just sort of like, as we live in a Taylor Swift world, like show them that like, yeah, women can rock really hard, and they can also like be pop superstars. They can do anything. So go do what you want to do. It's a good first track to kick us off tonight, and that's my track.
If you do say so yourself. It is, dude. Bikini Kill rules.
All right. Next up, we are going to slide things over to Russ. You've got track 2 tonight. What is your pick for us tonight, my guy?
It's the shit pick!
All right, man. So all this French talk is kind of a good setup for me, right? So like I'm always on the search for like, I don't know, unfiltered music, if you will. And the SoapGirls, dude, are like just like the ultimate story of a pendulum swing. So they walked away from a major label deal that tried to mold them into like a manufactured pop act, and then reinvented themselves as like a DIY punk powerhouse. So pick 2 is called Society's Reject.
Wish that I could be just like you. Fuck me, fuck you, fuck your mom too. Wish that I could be just like you. Hate me, hate you. Wish that I could be just like you. Turn my eyes to society's mischief. Wish that I could be just like you. Don't give a fuck, don't even have a clue. Hate me, hate you. Fuck me, fuck you. Screw them, screw you. Fuck them, fuck you.
Dude, I love that track. That is so fucking fun.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm a little bit late to getting to these gals. I probably found them about 6 months ago, and they are, man, probably my most listened to artist of the year so far. There's just something about it. Like they get a little bit unhinged through these different songs that they do, and they I don't know. It's kind of awesome. Like they just like they do not give a shit. Like I just fucking love it. All right, so Millie and me, Debray, were born in Paris, Texas. Yeah, Paris, France, right? They relocated to Cape Town when they were young children, about 8 or 9. It was about this time that they started their music career. They were street performers in Cape Town. They earned the name the SoapGirls because they sold this handmade soap to tourists and locals while like walking through the crowds and singing and performing, and then they would donate their money, most of their proceeds, to hospitals and charities, specifically for like incubators and HIV and AIDS research. Like this is what these girls were doing at the time, and they performed 365 days a year for about 9 years.
Jesus.
On this pier, and then they were just like, that's just where they would do it every single day. Around 12 or 13, they were scouted by the record producer, who invited them to record in the studio, and then they released a song that went to a Japanese compilation album. And within 2 years, because of the success of that song, they were signed by Universal Records in South Africa, and then they released this dance pop record, and it went to number 1 in South Africa, and then they were just hating every second of it. They just did not like it. They didn't like what Universal was trying to turn them into, and like the whole the manufactured pop image, and they had no creative control, and they're like, fuck this. So they just they quit. They're like, we're done with you guys. And then they briefly moved to New York to record independently, and then eventually returned to South Africa to kind of reinvent themselves as like a punk rock duo. And then they released what they call their first album in 2015. And then they have full control, I guess, over everything. And like their mom is their manager, the agent, it is all just like in the family.
It's so punk rock, dude.
Yeah, it's cool. This is off their second album, which is also called Society's Reject. It's a 16-track double album, and they record with what they call a raw first mentality. So you got like a lot of the pop acts are heavily pitch corrected, but the SoapGirls intentionally leave their vocal grit and feedback going on, and just don't we featured one of their songs in one of the outros of a earlier ep, and sometimes it just sounds like they aren't even in tune. You're like, what are you guys doing? But I can't not listen to it. It's like my favorite, because it's just like, how is this working? But they're like, we don't care, we're just gonna fucking go for it.
It's totally yeah, have you ever heard the quotation, all of my favorite singers couldn't sing? It's like, it's way it's sometimes better, just like the imperfection is better, is what stands out about some music.
Maybe so. Maybe it's just we're so used to everything being so perfect. It just, man, I don't know. There's something about it. And and you just add a little bit of also they kind of sometimes sound unhinged. And when you add things that aren't perfectly in tune, and this harmony that almost sounds chaotic, and then just with the unhinged nature of the music and the lyrics and then the way they are, I don't know. I found out how have I not heard of these girls before? This is amazing.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna have to listen to more of their stuff, because I didn't really get that from this song. I feel like this song really is pop forward.
Yeah, the opening line almost reminds me of that Kelly Clarkson song, right?
Okay.
Since You've Been Gone, I think.
No, the lyric where it's like, fuck me, fuck you, fuck your mom too. That made me giggle. I fucking love that.
So I was listening to it in the car one time, well, many times, I guess, but my daughter was she's like, I don't think a lot of other kids get to listen to music like this. I'm like, do you like this? She's like, oh, I like this very much. I was like, okay, all right.
Amazing.
They also do a lot of scantily clad things and photos and album covers,
a lot of thongs.
But then they also will just perform topless and stuff, and it is to be you can't tell us what to fucking do, and we don't care. So they're constantly fighting social media to not get their shit banned or shadow banned or whatever. So they do a lot of body paint and stuff too.
I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research on that. It sounds like,
just to understand it better.
Just for perspective,
for research purposes only. This album, the tour for this album was called the Sniff My Fist Tour. So which is kind of great.
Amazing.
It's awesome.
That is amazing.
And then a lot of times when they're up playing, they will invite the Misfits in the crowd to come on up front, and often it just results in a bunch of chaotic stage invasions, and they just try to keep a safe space for whatever, not your normies or whatever you want to call them, I guess. They categorize their music, they call this revolt rock. This album came out in 2015, and they were still trying to carve a path for themselves, and then COVID happened, and instead of just kind of locking themselves away and being gone, they did over 400 fucking live streams during 20 and 21. They would do it 4 days a week. They would put on live streams with like 4 nights a week. They would do full scale theatrical productions, like staged in their home studio, and like with just, there were different themes and like all kinds of stuff. And like, they're just, you can watch any of them on YouTube. It's just like, they just fucking went. They're like, this is what we're doing. And it turns out that it was what broke them out. They made them more famous. And they're like, and all of a sudden like, oh shit, that's what happened. So now they still do this thing called Monday Live, where they just fucking hang out and talk to fans like every fucking Monday, unless they're on tour. And they just like, for like an hour, they'll just like answer questions and talk to them.
That's cool, man.
That is the SoapGirls, dude. They're fucking super cool.
Yeah, no, it's way fun. Like to hear you talk about like the sort of controversial live shows makes me think of that show we went to where your wife worked with a person who was opening for that band Jacuzzi.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then it was just like crazy fucking theatrical stage show with just like wild, giant costumes, and then ultimately like topless chicks, like, selling, lead singer and whatever, bass player, just nude from the waist up and then staying that way as they went to the merch table.
Right.
I mean, they had pasties on or whatever. So it was a different conversation to go up and say like, hey, do you guys have any vinyl? When like they were just like boobs out. Like, I'm gonna keep my eyes up here. We're looking right into your eyes. It's like, because
your eyes are up here. I know your eyes are up here. I'm looking at your eyes.
I see where they are. I'm looking at your eyes. I'm asking you the question and maintaining eye contact. But no, it was super fun, man. Like I want to hear more of this stuff, more of their stuff, because this is another one of those bands that, like you were talking about, your daughters. Like, I love that I get to listen to stuff like this, and this is something that I think my kids would also be really into. And I want my kids to say "fuck you" eventually. Maybe not directly to me, but like,
how old is your daughter, Russ? Like, when do you start?
She just turned 11.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I try to figure out what's age appropriate, like for or adjusted age appropriateness. Like, I think
I have been listening to my music since they were babies. This is what they grew up on. I don't know. It's
cool.
No. So like, I like when I was out in California and Karen, you remember, Karen Germain, they had their first baby, and like, we went and visited them and met the baby, and we were in there, and she was jamming some Beastie Boys, and just like, and she set the tone for me with parental music, whatever, because she was just like, yeah, fuck it, right? Like, we're just gonna listen to good music. Like, and so from thenceforth, it was like, okay, like, we're not going to cuss at each other, and you're not allowed to use, language like that at school or at Graham and Grampy's, or, even in public with other kids, like, but if you are writing a song, or if you are, making some kind of art, then that is, that's protected speech, and, you get to say what you get to say. You get to share the story that you want to share, regardless of like how it is impacted with quote unquote. Yeah,
I mean, I think my kids have definitely been around it for a while, and like nobody has like stray fucks and stuff. And like I told them, I was like, whatever, like, you can say them. I wouldn't recommend saying them too much, because then it's gonna come very naturally, and then you're gonna say it in a place you don't want to say it, and then that's on you. But they're like,
but the other thing is that
you're like, to it.
You're disrupting it by like desensitizing them to it. If they hear it all the time, then there's less that's alluring about it. When it's like, ooh, it's the word that you're not supposed to say. Like, making it taboo makes it cooler for them and want them to say it more. But if the words are always around, then they're just words, and then they're like, whatever.
And it's not like, I mean, we're not just like dropping F-bombs in front of them all the time and stuff. Like, that's just not really how we do it. But if it does come out, or we talk about it or whatever, like, it's not like oh shit, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say, we're like, whatever, it's fine. No, I was having we don't say it a lot, but when we do, it's because we're saying like, you're a fucking loser. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You fucking piece of shit. I thought I had a better kid. fucking pull your head out of your ass and be
I would-
better.
That is a
Always-
fucking terrible
Yeah.
drawing. That looks like shit.
I know.
Don't
Yeah.
bring that to me.
I'll always love your mom
I
more
am
than
not
you.
going to put.
I actually do
Because
say
I'm a
that to them. They
yeah.
they should know that I prioritize their mom over them, and that's the first. I think that's healthy. I think that's a healthy thing for them to see a relationship where, my wife and I are more important to each other than our kids are to us. That might be controversial.
I never had to change your mom's diapers, so she's got that going.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
That's
reassess
true.
the
I have
love
never
when
wiped
she's older,
your mom's
but
shit
right now,
out of her vagina. Like, I've never done that, so it's a lot easier to love her more than you.
I mean, I think I see what you're saying. We have something similar. We talk to the kids about like how our relationship is really important, and without our relationship ever happening, like they wouldn't have happened. So like, it kind of works that way. I don't think we've ever been like, well, I love your mom more than I love you, but I hear what you're saying, right? Like,
Yeah, it's like I love your mom so much because like she gave me you guys, and like I love you guys. But like if I didn't love your mom first, then like you wouldn't be here. So that's all. Anyway, let's take a quick break and do a music history minute.
Music History Minute. We'll dig in their dirt. Rock stars are people, but way more pervert. One fuck of a ride through their dicks and their jugs. Music History Minute is like sex on drugs.
it was August 1992, and the Reading Festival in England was a chaotic mess. L7, the four-woman grunge punk powerhouse from Los Angeles, was taking the stage in the middle of a literal swamp. The crowd had been standing in the rain for days, and by the time L7 started their set, the audience was hostile. Then the technical gods intervened in the worst way possible. The band's speakers blew out. In an instant, the wall of sound vanished. Thousands of restless fans, suddenly faced with silence, began scooping up the liquid earth beneath their feet. Massive clumps of heavy gray mud started flying toward the stage. The band was being pelted, physically overwhelmed by a crowd that seemed determined to run them off. Security hesitated. The technical crew scrambled. But Donita Sparks, the band's guitarist and co-vocalist, decided to escalate the situation. She realized that if the crowd wanted to throw filth at her, she would give them something back that they could never have prepared for. She reached into her shorts, removed her used tampon, and hurled it directly into the center of the crowd. "Eat my used tampon, fuckers!" she screamed into the dead air. The energy in the field shifted instantly. The mudslinging stopped, replaced by a shock that rippled through the audience. The counterattack was a moment of pure visceral defiance that turned the tables on thousands of aggressive fans. The speakers eventually crackled back to life. The band finished their set, drenched in mud but fundamentally untouched. The incident became an immediate piece of rock lore. Critics called it unsanitary and disgusting. Fans called it the ultimate punk rock power move. Decades later, the tampon incident is still cited as the high water mark for confrontational performance.
Yep. Nothing gets them going like a used tampon slapped to the face.
Music History Minute is like sex on drugs.
All right. Well, next up, we are going to go to pick 3 tonight, and that one is coming from Mr. Jeffro.
Welcome to the middle pick fuckers.
We've got Racist, Sexist Boy by the Lindas off of the 2022 record Growing Up.
You say
Short and sweet.
Pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of subtext in this one. I've always loved the line. It like really sticks in my head, and I'll think back on it sometimes. But the line is just, "We rebuild what you destroy." It's like that is the greatest fucking line. These are like kids that wrote that. But it's like it is obviously circling back to Riot Girl and
Wasn't Mila
empowerment.
was like 10 years old? Like
Yeah.
the drummer was
Oh
10 years
yeah,
old
the
when she
Linda
wrote
Lindas.
this.
They were like babies when they fucking came on the scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like early teens, and they formed.
Well,
it just
ranging from 10 to
2018.
16, I think. Yeah, like
Yeah,
young. That's awesome.
and it's wild because this came out in 2021 is when everybody found out about it because they were playing that LA library, and
Yeah.
I think like NPR covered it, and then it was like viral. But they formed 3 years before that, so they were like even more children when they first started out. But yeah, you got Bella Salazar, Eloise Wong, and the sisters Lucia and Mila de la Garza, who are all friends in LA growing up. The de la Garza's dad has won a Grammy for something or other, so they're in the music biz. But yeah, they came out swinging, and I've always liked this song. It's simple. She's screaming, and it's like a little off pitch, but I dig that. And it makes me feel good about it's possible that not all teenage girls are gonna get fucked up by social media. Some of them are gonna find stuff like the Linda Lindas and they're gonna fight back. And
They're
that's
going to
nice.
fight back. Yeah, that's the idea. That's the hope, man. You hope it's like, you know what? Like, you don't have to fall into that. Like, you don't have to. You can be alternative to that. And, like, it's okay. It's going to be okay.
But it's also cool because it's there's a direct connection to the history of Riot Girl and then indie music after that we like so they're part of the solidary group of female artists that have rocked our world. So like Kathleen Hanna is a big fan of the Linda Lindas, who we just were talking about, but also Karen O is a big supporter of theirs. And she was like, but she kind of relates to them as an Asian American, and she's like, they really speak to me because I feel like a lot of us grew up kind of reserved and in the shadow, not in the limelight, making music. It's inspiring to see these young girls having that so early, because Karen O was like, it took me 21 years of stuffing down all my feelings before it could finally explode on stage. And the Linda Lindas are just like, just getting straight to it, and so that's like partly because of people like Karen O that charted a path for them, but it's dope. And then Bethany Cosentino from California Nights, Best Coast. Jeez,
From Best Coast,
love
yeah.
that record, California Nights.
Wasn't she from Best Coast?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of the record.
Best
I thought of
Coast.
the record name before.
Isn't
I thought
it
of the
that's
band.
called
Best Coast.
California Nights?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I think
Russ.
it's Best Coast. I think it's Best Coast.
You're just making fun of me, right? Yeah, you're making fun of me. I can't.
What? No, never. I would never do that.
Did you know that she's in Best Coast?
Okay, but she's like there.
She sings California Nights.
Oh, Jesus Christ! dude. How long could you keep it going? I bet a
don't know.
long time.
I think it's California Nights, I think.
Yeah,
Best Coast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Dave's down to just repeat things in your face when he's drinking. That's one of his favorite things to do. So let's keep doing the bit. Bethany Cosentino is like their band mom.
She does Best Coast. Is that Bethany?
Jesus. This is like a fucking Tom Green bit.
Russ is just like, how does that dick taste? How does that dick taste?
Anyway, she's like their band mom. That's all I was gonna say. She
Then you should have just
helps
said it,
them
dude.
along the way.
Fucking 5 minutes to say that little bit of shit. Come on.
Brittany Cosentino from Best Coast?
All right. Yeah, it doesn't work if I don't say anything. Yeah. Now we just have
that's
dead
Best
fucking
Coast.
air, bitch.
That's good. All right.
Yeah. Best. Yeah, it is the best coast.
Do you want to talk about who produced the record or whatever? Do you want me to do that?
You should. Yeah. Tell me about who produced the record.
Yeah, no fucking idea. How about that? Probably their dad.
But after that song, when they got big, they signed with Epitaph, who called back to Bad Religion.
Nice. So where are the Lindas today? Yeah. Where are they now?
21, 19, 18, and 15. And they had a record come out in 2024. I don't know if it became as viral, but maybe they should just hire Chaotic Good, the PR guys for Geese, and they'll be all right. You know, get back up there. Get back on your algorithm.
Get into the SNL studios and get onto the, Coachella stage.
Yeah, they're still out there jamming. They had a video come out off of that record, and they're, it's pretty good. So
Are they all
I think
siblings? Are they all sisters?
no,
Is that the
No,
deal?
there's two sisters, I think.
two sisters, and then they're from different backgrounds. Like one of them's from a Salvadoran background, and and you
How
got
did
a
they know
couple
each
of
other? How did they all come together?
School. They met in school, where people meet when they're children, and then maybe Bethany Constantino put them in touch with each other.
Oh, from Best Coast. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, from Best Coast. They met at a Best Coast show. It was on the California Nights tour.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I think it must be hard. Like, okay, so you're a teenager, viral hit success. Everybody's talking about you. All these like famous musicians. How do you keep that steam rolling? Like, that must be so difficult. Like, what do you do?
Oh,
to
yeah.
recreate
No,
that?
totally. And that's insane to like have legends of the game come in and say like, wow, you guys are really pushing the envelope and creating things that haven't been done before. And it's just sort of like, okay, that's got to be really hard to hear.
At that age, do you ever achieve that success again? I don't know.
I think what you have to do is you have to.
and then do you feel like a fucking failure for the rest of your life because you're always chasing that dragon and you can never get there? I mean, I think I'd rather struggle for 20 years and hit it big than to hit it big and then struggle for 20 years.
So are they the Macaulay Culkin of the music industry?
But did he try to act more? I think he didn't care, is the thing about him. Macaulay Culkin made so much dough when he was a kid that he could live his whole life retired. And I think that he just like does whatever he wants.
I think he's getting back into acting finally, I think. But
Yeah,
I think
but
when
it
his
wasn't
brother
by-
won an Oscar, he was like, oh shit, I should go back and start acting again.
Yeah.
I mean, he went off the deep end for a while, right? He was looking really bad for a while.
Yeah, he was
but I
smoking a
think
bunch of cigarettes and
he's feeling better these days.
But yeah, anyway, I think what you have to do is you just have to like get out there and grind. You like, even though you had a big thing, at least for people, like people will recognize your name and know who you are, and that'll get you into some clubs. Doors will open because of that.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen with one hit wonders, you can keep playing forever if you just play the hits or the hit or whatever.
Yeah, but they're just gonna have to get out there and keep grinding, and then try to find another hit. They could do it. I'm hopeful.
Yeah. No. They're a quality group, and I think that they bring a lot to the table. Like they certainly didn't get to where they are by mistake. And
Yeah, I like the growing up song. I like that growing up song they have. It was off their
That's the
the
first song.
2022 album. But yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, man. Thanks for your racist sexy boy track, Jeffro.
It's racist, sexist boy. It's not air.
Whoops.
Dude.
Sexist boy, racist, sexist boy. Excuse me. Thank you for the correction.
What if Air did
Next
a song
up.
called Racist Sexy Boy? It's like burr, burr, burr,
Oh.
burr, 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 burr. Racist Sexy Boy.
Feel it in your core, it's pick 4.
All right. Well, let's head over to pick number 4. Pick number 4 is for Russ. What do you have for us on pick number 4 today?
Okay, well, first I want to say that I feel like this is like my favorite 4-run like 4-song run that we've had in any of our episodes. I appreciate Dave for putting these all together in the order that they have gone. I'm quite
Thanks.
this is really feeling good for me. So
yeah, this
and
is
I know
the
we
most
definitely
punk
are
forward episode of our episodes.
I'm kind of loving it. Anyway, all right, so my next track is from a Gen Z punk band called VIAL. They dubbed their sound as what they call scuzz pop, and it's kind of a chaotic mix of catchy melodies and kind of distorted aggression. And this is their breakout hit, Mr. Fuck You.
Nice, bruh.
Yeah, I dig it. This dude, when Dave was like, let's do just all women band, I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I'm fucking down. This is great.
Russ put his picks in before anybody else. It was like he was like, oh, that's the topic, done, boom, and it was not even like 30 minutes after we announced it to the group that he was locked. It's like,
no,
oh,
I
shit,
just
okay.
like, I don't know. It's just these. Man, you know, I make my playlists every year, right? When I try out new stuff, I kind of build my playlist of like 10 plus hours of music, and I just kind of had I started working on it around 6 months ago when I really go into like hardcore like discover mode, and it's when I found like the SoapGirls, I found VIAL, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, this is cool, and just kind of going through it, and then started kind of listening to it more and more over the course of the year as it goes on. I'm like, man, yeah, and so it was just like I was like, I know exactly what I want to pick. Like, this is great. Like, I would definitely pick these guys. All right, so VIAL wasn't formed like through school or local auditions. In 2019, the founding members KT Branscombe and Taylor Kramer used Tinder specifically to find their third bandmate, and they matched with Katie Fisher, and the trio bonded instantly over a shared frustration with the lack of queer non-binary representation in the Minneapolis punk scene.
I had that problem when I lived in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I noticed. I mean, I noticed that was a problem.
Were you there in 2019? When were you there?
No, it was before. So that's what I'm saying. That's been a problem.
It was still
in
a problem
for a while. Yeah. So since the mid 2000s. Yeah.
But it was fine in the early aughts. They had a falling off, huh? A mass exodus.
Yeah, I just felt like there just wasn't as much representation in the punk scene for non-binary people. But that was probably like that started around 6 or 7. Before that, there were quite a lot of non-binary, especially like in St. Paul, in the St. Paul scene. and MVPs.
So they chose the name VIAL, which is VIAL, not VILE, right? Because they said it sounded small and clinical, potentially dangerous. VIAL is something that could either be a cure or a poison, and
like a vial of cyanide or a vial of penicillin. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like a vial for sure
of penicillin
of some kind of toxin or a poison or an antidote, if you will,
or vial of Angelina Jolie's blood, for example.
Ooh, Billy Bob Thornton reference. Your references are so good. Everybody says that.
Bro. Everybody says that. This is the end. Everybody says that, dude. Your references are sick.
Sick.
So they released this song on TikTok, and it exploded, right? It's like it's got that kind of raw, relatable anger toward what they call the toxic nice guys. It's a direct call out of the mansplainer in the music scene. Like, reminds me of the guy from when I was at that Rise Against show last year, who was like mansplaining to his girlfriend how to sing to like how the crowd sing to the songs. Which is just like, God damn it, this is so bad.
That's one of the most cringe things that's ever been on our podcast. Like I can see it, and it bothers me so
Yeah,
hard.
it's the
You're
worst.
like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I want more of the I have a sensor in my arm
Yeah.
energy.
yeah. I'm going to see them. They're going to be back in Austin in September. So we're going
shit.
to see Rise Against. Maybe I'll come back with another story.
Yeah.
The first record was just total DIY, and then they later signed with Get Better Records, which was a queer-run label in 2021 for the album Loudmouth, which is what this album's off of. And it just kind of they wanted to make sure they stayed within the community that that prioritized the activism over like some kind of corporate polish or whatever. So I do like that about a lot of the punk bands who would just be like, well, we could go bigger, but A, we wouldn't be able to put out the music we want to put out, and B, like, you know, we're still trying to like accomplish something more than just making money, I think, which is cool. So like the band, they kind of like to sing all together, get that kind of the group vocals and the harmonies that aren't necessarily meant to be pretty. They often kind of lean into like a sarcastic or a bratty tone, maybe that mimics the way they are often spoke down to by, you know, critics. And Taylor Kramer frequently uses a keytar in their live sets, which is awesome. And so it kind of adds a layer to that scuzz pop. And then also just kind of like the SoapGirls, the mosh pit at the live shows, they often will pause and explicitly invite women and trans and non-binary fans to the front of the stage where they can have like a safe space for to like mosh and be close to the stage without like getting just aggressively pushed out by the by the dudes that like to mosh in the middle. So those guys get kind of sent to the edges. They also funnel a portion of their income directly to causes like abortion rights and refugee aid. And I think they're just they're trying to like they try to make the band a vehicle for material change and not just entertainment, which is cool. And then also, like the SoapGirls, during the lockdowns, they built a massive following on Twitch where they weren't streaming concerts, but they just hung out with fans and played video games and discussed gear and kind of demystified themselves and ended up creating this really loyal fan base that is called the Cult of VIAL. So it's kind of cool.
No, that's pretty kick-ass.
And they're still putting out albums. They just had an album come out this year called Hellhound, which is really fucking good.
Feels like a little bit of a spiritual successor to Rebel Girl, but like with more sarcasm.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's like Gen Z took right, like picked up the torch for the Riot Girl movement and just kept moving, like the revolution kind of from zines to social media or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. It's cool. It felt very. The 4 songs kind of all just feed into each other and just keep that momentum going.
No, I agree. I think this is a pretty fun playlist today. Good energy all the way through. Hell yeah, man. It's a good one.
Let's take a break and chew the fat. Play that motherfucker.
Jeff, Russ, and Dave in the motherfucking chat, chewing the fat on stuff weird and whack.
Chewing the Fat today is brought to us by Glitter and Giggles Story Hour, where the wigs are high, the heels are optional, and the standards for kindness are sky high. Are your kids struggling with sharing, taking turns, not interrupting every 5 seconds like a tiny, adorable podcast host? Then it might be time for a little sparkle-powered guidance. At Glitter and Giggles, fabulous drag storytellers bring classic tales to life, teaching lessons like, yes, we all get a turn with the glitter glue. No, we do not lick our friends. And the timeless classic, if you make a mess, you better work to clean it up. Each session combines storytime, music, and just enough dramatic flair to keep the kindergartners engaged and parents quietly thinking, honestly, I needed this too. Every child leaves with a sticker, a compliment, and a slightly improved ability to share snacks without launching a full-scale negotiation. So, whether your kid is a future Broadway star or just someone who needs to learn that mine is not a complete sentence, check out Glitter and Giggle Story Hour, because kindness is always in style, and sharing is the main character. All right, Dixie, let's hear it.
I was carrying my daughter, 2-year-old daughter, in my arm, and I'm leaving Home Depot with a paper bag in the other arm. So it's very like, it probably looks kind of old school, like somebody carrying groceries and their kid at the same time. And I'm walking out, and you have to get in the elevator to go to the parking garage. And there was a woman holding her daughter and also had a paper bag, but her paper bag was falling apart. And so then she goes, "Is that about to fall out of my bag?" And I was like, "Yep." And then I grabbed what was falling out of the bag, and it was a box of Tampax. And then I just packed it right back into the bag for her. And she was so awesome because
So that woman buys Tampax at Home Depot?
no, it's a whole shopping center. That part I figured didn't matter that much. But you could also, I think you can buy Tampax at Home Depot, but you have to check their inventory.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. It's just like cotton with sawdust.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just made of sawdust. Like for the real ladies. Yeah, but what I really dug about this woman is that she did not give two shits about that. Like, so a lot of women would be like, "Oh, my tampons or whatever," but she was just like,
You're both holding 2-year-olds. You obviously know like
exactly
what happens down there.
Exactly. That's what I liked about it. She did not care. She wasn't embarrassed, but she also wasn't overly thankful. She was just like, "Hey, thanks." And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." And then we got in the elevator. I was like, "What is she, about 18 months?" She's like, "You nailed it. What's yours, 2 years old?" And I was like, "Yep." And it was like, we were just two parents that knew a lot about having kids. And that was it. It was a really life-affirming interaction, I felt like, you know? But I like really appreciated this woman for all of that. Like,
It's like, hey, did you ever think about having sex in an elevator with a stranger while the kids play?
yeah,
While we're each
two
holding a
kids
baby.
watch. My brain did not go there. God's honest truth.
And when we're done, we can just eat them. It'll be fine.
Oh, Lord.
Eat
Well,
the
since
babies
you brought
or
up-
the tampons?
The babies.
Oh my God.
Since you brought up eating tampons, my oldest started their period this last year, and so we've had to have a ton of conversations about the disposal of said items because we have a 6-month-old dog that really likes to go and like find stuff in the trash
Is
and
this
then
the,
pull it out of the
Oh,
trash.
no, it's a cat whose butt fell out. This is the dog. What was the dog's issue again?
It used to shit in a litter box. Now it just shits on the floor.
It shits outside now. It shits outside now for the most part.
In the litter box. Oh my God.
But yeah, no, that's like been a whole interesting kind of change in my life is having a 12-year-old who is using tampons and then not disposing of them in a way that keeps the dog from rooting them out of the trash and dragging them across the living room. So, you know, there's something to look forward to forever for everyone.
And now back to Six Picks Music Club.
Keep the drive alive, it's pick 5.
All right, let's get back to 6 picks. Pick number 5 is going to the Great White North. We've got Jeffro with pick number 5. What do you have for us tonight to take us on the home stretch, my guy?
I got Cibo Matto's Sugar Water off of the 1996 record Viva la Woman.
Viva la woman! Greatness!
When a black cat crosses my path, a woman in the moon is singing to the earth. A woman in the moon is singing to the earth. La la la, la 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 la.
On this record, people listen to it and they're like, dude, this record is fucking awesome and it's all over the place, but it all goes together.
The Know My Chicken track is one of my favorites for sure.
There's like a do you know your chicken? Like there's all this weird, and it's all about food. Like the words Cibo Matto mean something like tasty food.
Crazy food.
Crazy food. That's what it is. So yeah, this is Yuka Honda and Miho Hattori, who formed the band in New York City, but they're from Japan.
You should be nicer to yourself, bro. Just be nice to yourself. Like just because you had some sex, don't mean you're a hoe.
Miho. Oh, okay. It took me a really long time to get it. It was like nothing else that was around, except like some of their songs sound like other stuff that was coming out. Like it does kind of sound like Portishead, I guess, but they're cool because they're fucking from Japan, and they showed up in New York, and they do their own thing, and they made some hits. And Michelle Gondry directed the video for Sugar Water, and it's have you watched the video? It's a crazy fucking video.
It's one of the greatest videos I've ever.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
One's going forward, one's going in reverse until it kind of flips.
Yeah, and it's like you're just like, what in the hell? It's like totally screwing with your.
You killed me.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Also, but I'm gonna beat Dave to the punch on this. But Yuka Honda is married to Nels Klein of Wilco, which you know is a kind of a big deal for Dave. And
it is.
Dude, I had no idea that he's 70 years old, which is so wild. And she's 64 now, which is like, I guess she was in her mid 30s when this came out. But the cool thing about him is that they're part of this kind of like Asian women played a pretty big role, I think, like in some of these bands that were helping propel Riot Grrrl forward, and then also indie rock in the 2000s. So if you think about like Karen O and these two, and now like I feel like I should have a list of 4 to 5, but what I really dig about it is they said when they came on the scene, the only way that Japanese women were presented were as a bashful geisha or kawaii core.
Nice.
And so they're like, we were fucking loud. And I love that, dude. They were like, we're Japanese, but we played in a fucking metal band back at home, and we're going to come do our shit over here. And like Yuka Honda was really good at sampling, and it was like they're just artists and they're creative as shit and they do whatever they want, and I love that. I think my whole thing, like the people that I love the most, it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, what gender you are, any of that stuff, are people that do whatever the fuck they want creatively. Like that's so inspiring. Just like free form. We are just gonna like, we have juice and we're gonna use that juice. And these two definitely have juice, So it's so awesome.
Miho Hattori was the first person to voice the character Noodle in the Gorillaz when they first did their first record.
Right. Yeah.
So like this whole record is really crazy awesome. Viva la Woman. I actually found a copy on vinyl in I think maybe 2005 or 2006 at Innoveneer Records on South First Street before it had moved. And this is like one of those moments where I was like, oh yeah, I want to listen to this track. And so it was a used copy, and I went over to the little turntable where, you could like play the record. And like I clumsily like moved the needle in the wrong way, and I put a scratch into the record before I'd even bought it. I was just like playing it to listen to it, and I was just like, oh shit.
What song is it on?
Fuck.
Or does it affect many songs?
It's just a part of one song, and honestly, I couldn't even tell you which one it is now. It's probably the one after Sugar Water, whatever is chronologically next. But I felt so bad that I had to buy it. I was like, I fucked this up. I can't like put it back now. So I just went ahead and got it.
That's a man of principle.
But I'm glad that I did. Because it is a great record. I mean, both Miho and Yuka are like just really prolific musicians in their own right. I mean, like they've done all kinds of shit. Like I saw actually Yuka in 2010 at the French Legation Museum here in Austin during South by Southwest because they were performing with Ghost of a Saber-Toothed Tiger, which is like Sean Lennon's band that he did in that same vein or era or whatever. And
You
that was
mentioned
Didn't they
other
do
things
something with the Beastie Boys?
Yeah, Beastie Boys. They were on. Miho was on Hello Nasty. That record.
Oh yeah. No, this is just like one of those crazy records, and I think it was Denton that actually first turned me onto this before I'd even seen the Sugar Water video, because Lou at Lucky Lou's would sing like the "I know my chicken, you got to know your chicken," and it was just like a thing that was like, I don't know, when the bar was closing and he was in a silly mood, he would start to sing that song. Just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And like, that's a really fun, weird song, which is like all about like a person raising a chicken and then like eating them and then like creating a family around the chicken, but then like consuming the family. It's bananas. So Russ was talking about like how exposing his kids to just whatever music he was listening to. I think one of my favorite things to do is to really put music that's weird out in front of my kids so that they're like, oh, okay, I guess that's cool or interesting or weird or I don't like that at all. But it's like, let's really experience how fucking broad the spectrum of music can be. And that's, I think, one of my fun examples of like, this is a weird song that doesn't have a whole lot of literal interpretation. I mean, you can get down and deep on it, but know your chicken is pretty bananas.
To go off of what you're saying, it's important too because like so much of what they hear is like perfectly put together songs in the whole chorus verse structure where it's like, like Taylor Swift and shit. It's like these are standard songs that are like perfected to the nth degree. And so then if you go back and you listen to like a Cibo Matto record, like on that birthday cake song, she's just screaming "Shut up and eat" about a birthday cake to somebody, and it's just like over like a real nasty little bass riff like and you're like, what the fuck kind of song is this? Like it's the weirdest, but it's awesome, dude. It fucking hits you hard. And I hope that they get that like from TikTok and stuff, but I don't trust that they do, you know? But also, dude, just like, man, I was listening to somebody talk about this and totes agree. Like, it's good that we stopped everybody from smoking cigarettes. Like, that's a good thing because it's going to make people live longer. But dude, living with cigarettes when you would, oh man, I'd like to talk to this person more. I'll see if they want to smoke a cigarette outside with me. And you like, it's an excuse to just chat with somebody, you know, but these songs remind me of that, like of socially smoking cigarettes with people, like in a group, just sit around chatting. You're not on your phone. You're not bored. You're listening to songs like this and kicking back on the couch outside in your garage or whatever and having a cigarette with somebody that you hardly know, but you're just chatting about Cibo Matto or something. I feel like that happened to me, but I don't have a specific memory of it, but like that's something that would have happened or maybe did. And that was good stuff. That we don't have
I'm with you on
now.
that. There's like a kinship of like smokers or whatever, where it was such a good like icebreaker to go up to a stranger. It's like, hey, you got a light? And you see somebody smoking, you're like, hey, can I, you got a light? And then you just like get to start a conversation because like, oh yeah, we're both smoking cigarettes out here, standing outside this bar. And like, what else might we have in common? Oh, cool. Like, where are you from? Like, what do you do? That, you know, just starting the conversation.
Yeah, dude, there are just fewer things because the cool thing about smoking cigarettes too, especially when you couldn't smoke them inside anymore, is that you had to go outside with somebody or by
and
yourself
you had to go
and then meet
and be
other
with your
people out there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you just go stand outside and talk. There is absolutely no other occasion to do that. Like it was a really unique experience to be like, okay, we have to go outside and you happen to be the other person that needs to smoke a cigarette right now. So we're standing outside smoking and we'll figure out what to talk about, you know?
I also really like that it was like a good sort of like ad break that you could be like, hey, you know, friend of mine who's getting a little too aggressive with the bartender, let's go smoke a cigarette. Let's, you know, like, let's just chill out. Let's like take it down a notch because like we're getting a little too heavy in here.
Yeah,
now we just go to the bathroom and snort coke. It's not the
Which
same.
doesn't help. No, it goes the other way. It really does not.
Fuck that bartender.
De-escalate.
right.
Yeah, do another bump, bro. Do another bump.
Yeah, it feels like Breaking Bad.
If you're at a club or you're at a show now, there's not really like a great excuse to relocate very much. You know, so when you go in, you're just like in the middle of the crowd. And that's fine. But like when you had to smoke a cigarette outside, you're like, hey, let's run outside and smoke a cigarette, you know, and like then we'll get back in. That's the reason I met Guy Garvey that time in Minneapolis, because I was still smoking back then and wife was inside.
He's in that band, what is it called? Kneecap?
Kneecap,
Is what it is?
yeah, Turnstile.
I think it's ooh.
But yeah,
Ankle.
you could think of anything
Macaroni?
funny. You could
Is it
think of-
macaroni?
Yeah, macaroni. Yeah, and they open for cheese. Richard Cheese. Anyway, she stayed at the table and I was like, hey, I'm going to run and go have a cigarette real quick before the next band comes on. And it was fucking, he's out there having a cigarette. What a time, you know, out there on the edge of the party.
Yeah, it's magic. It's magic.
I miss that. We've lost something. Every time we get healthier as a society, we lose something, an unhealthy thing that was socially better.
We've gained years on our life, but we've lost chili dogs.
Yeah, dude. You can't eat a chili fucking dog and then go smoke a cigarette after. You can't do that.
While you're playing basketball?
Yeah, while you're playing
While you're
basketball.
playing basketball. No, I worked at this theater hall with this woman, and she smoked, and I smoked, and this back in, you know, the 2008 or whatever, and it was like the thing she said to me. She was like, you know what, you can't do all three. You can't be fat and drink and smoke. Like, you can do two of them, but you can't do all three because then you're gonna die. And I was like, okay, what are you?
It's a trilemma.
What are you saying about me, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so where do I fit into this equation? Am I fat and smoking and also drinking, or what are you saying?
That's a true story,
But,
though, because
yeah.
if you're gonna, that's the John Candy route, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
If you're gonna be fat, you need to be otherwise healthy so that your heart can, like, you know, you can't be overworking your heart and then just dropping nicotine onto it all day long. That's probably not a good
What if
idea.
you love really hard, though? Love really hard.
It's just gonna work it. It's gonna work it too much.
Sweet. No, I love Cibo Matto. I love that record, and I love sharing it with people, so I'm glad you brought it. I'm jealous that you picked it. When you picked it, I was like, God damn it, that's a fucking great pick. So thank you for pulling them into the pod.
Tit pick, baby, tit pick. Fuck yeah.
You'd mentioned a cat theme, and I'm going to follow that cat theme with another record that has a cat theme. But this is the titular pick, the tit pick, the sixth pick of Six Picks Music Club episode on songs that the ladies do for us. This is going to be the lead single off of the 8th studio album released at the end of February this year, 2026. The album is Nothing's About to Happen to Me by Mitski, and the track we're going to listen to is Where's My Phone?
I just want my mind to be a clear glass with nothing to say. Where did I leave? Where did I go? Where did I go? Where did it go? Where's my phone? Where's my phone?
This is a lady who I didn't know about until my 12-year-old introduced me to them, and so it was an interesting thing because like they were like, oh yeah, so I drive them to school every morning because it's on my way to work. It's a nice like 20-minute drive to hang out and talk, and so we started doing a thing maybe I don't know 6 months ago where I'm like, hey, do you have a song request? And they get to like put in a track from their playlist that we listen to, and I'm hearing what they're listening to, and then I'm like, oh, that's cool, that reminds me of this, and then I play them a song that I feel like, oh, that's influenced by this, and that's a nice thing to like stay connected with my eldest on, and like that's what cool. They're listening to and what they're interested in, and also just sort of like getting to share kind of like things that I think that they might like. And so like definitely the Society's Reject song is going to be one that we listen to probably tomorrow. Yeah, so I got introduced to Mitski by my 12-year-old, and then like maybe, so this was in February that this album was released, and it started getting a little bit of radio play, and heard this song on the radio. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And it was a thing where it was like, I didn't understand why I liked it so much, and I didn't really get why I wanted to listen to it more. But it got stuck in my craw, and I was just like, oh, no, I just I want to hear more about this. I want to hear more. I want to know what the next song is on this record. Nothing's about to happen to me. And on the cover of the album is a painting of this white cat that's just sitting serenely. And then, like, if you open up the gatefold, you see there's like a striped cat that is about to attack this other cat, and it's like just teeth barred and claws barred and like ready to just like murder this peaceful cat, and which is hysterical to me because we have two cats, and like one is very calm, cool, collected, and the other one is crazy. All to say, this record became an immediate hit for me, just because
because you like cats.
Well, because I have cats, and I have kids that like cats, and it's nice to be able to talk about cats with your kids. But really, this song, I think I connected with because it is like this element of society is right now. Like, where's my phone? Starts with this commentary on like someone on the street calling me a name, and then falling into this chaos of like, I don't know how to survive and exist in this world where if things are happening that I don't expect. And like, where's my phone? Where's my security blanket? Where do I get back to that I can just look at something and be told like what it is that I need to believe or understand? And it's this, for me, it's this real sort of criticism on how online we are as a society, and like how dependent we are to define like our own self-status by the things that we learn on the device that is like in our pocket, in our hand, in front of us all the time. So I also love that, like, as this person has lost their phone, there's another nice point in this song where like it's self-censored, like they beep out what would be an F-bomb, but it's done like in the idea that this is a song that's going to be on the radio or going to be in social media, so like Mitski intentionally self-edits it because that's what would happen on the internet or on Instagram or whatever. So it's this sort of like meta thing that I think is a really brilliant kind of touch. But then like as the character goes through and can't find their phone, like the song devolves into like a really psychedelic rock, chaotic kind of jam. And that's how the song ends. And
I saw someone call it neo psychedelia.
Right.
I was like, what? And I'm just like going through and I'm thinking about like the shit we've talked about tonight, like neo psychedelia and scuzz pop and revolt rock. I'm like, okay, we should just come up with a random fucking idea for like a genre of music and then figure out what that sounds like.
Yeah, it's like I also read
this is
like
blow dry pop or whatever.
Breakup clarity. anthem, you know? Because Mitski makes all kinds of music, right? And like there's real emotional, real personal stuff. Like there's another track. The track I almost switched it to is the White Cat track, which is really funny because it talks all about like the narrator's struggle of like going to work and like paying their bills and like, but this random neighborhood cat pees on their house, and so now it's the cat's house, and so now she's working for the cat, and thanks to the bugs that drink my blood, that then the birds eat those bugs, and then the cat eats those birds. So it's like, I don't know. There's just a lot of really fun things to this. So
You never heard Best American Girl from the 2016 record Puberty 2?
no, I didn't. Like I've had to like circle back and go through 8 albums of material that like I wasn't familiar with.
That's wild, dude. I've been listening to it comes on. It's because I listen to Sirius XMU, which we've mentioned numerous times, but they are big.
Not a sponsor of the
Mitski
pod
fans.
yet.
Yeah, huge Mitski listeners on that station, and so I feel like I've been listening to Mitski for 12 years.
Is it you for university? So what it
Yeah,
is?
it's kind of like
Listen to-
the idea is it's a college
You-
radio station on.
Did you listen to that because you are a professor?
Yeah,
Does
obviously.
that help you stay in touch with your students? Like
The
listening
irony
to
of
college
that
radio?
is that none of them listen to any of this shit. Like, so we think that we're like, you think that you're relating to your kids because they listen to stuff that other kids are. None of their friends are listening to Mitski. Maybe 2 of them are. They are listening to TikTok songs like that. And I'm not exaggerating. Like I was like,
yeah.
I do like I have, 300 students, and I'll occasionally just ask them questions. Like when I mention I'll be like, how many people have listened to Kendrick Lamar? Which feels like it's for young people, right? Like, so this
Should be all of them,
generation.
right? Yeah.
And it's like out of the 200 students I have in one class, like 20 of them will raise their hands. So that means like, it's like, yeah, it's like 10% of them have listened to
That's
it. And
surprising.
that's it.
I would not have
It is
guessed that.
surprising, dude. It's weird. And if you say Drake, it's only like 20 of them. I was like, what do you guys listen to? Like those are the 2 big.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't.
20 Kendrick Lamar and then only 20 Drake?
No, I said 10 Kendrick
because
Lamar.
he's Canadian?
Or did I say 20 for both?
You said 20. Yeah, you said 20 for both.
I thought I said
But
10.
you would think that in Toronto, the pedophile Drake would have a higher following.
He does. He does have a. I meant to say that it was higher. I got my numbers mixed up. I'm tired, but I'm just saying like it's a small proportion of the overall number, and then like there are more Drake listeners than Kendrick listeners in the at least.
So what are
here.
they listening to? Do they say?
That's what I
give
can't
you
figure out. I'd be like,
recommendations?
what do you listen to? But they're not going to just
They're
offer
like,
it. Up.
hey,
one by
prof, we listened to Best Coast.
Yeah. Hey, prof, you wrote some good shit? Listen to that Best Coast with Bethany Constantino.
Yo, dude, Bethany Constantino, dog. She's the dope California girl. No, okay, so so it is a dichotomy, right? Because like my kid is like into this a lot, but also into like Vocaloid music. Like, are you familiar with this?
What?
Where it's just like so Vocaloids are basically AI generated
Oh, god damn it.
artists or whatever that have like hologram. We have tickets to go see Katsune Miku May 1st at the Cedar Park Center. And I think basically it's going to be a hologram that's going to sing Miku songs to us. But like this is a character that my eldest is desperately in love with and, cosplays as. And this is like the I don't understand shaking my fist at the cloud kind of old man stuff. Because, even on the drive-in today, I was like, hey, you got a song request? And they were like, yeah. So when they put one in, I was just like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? Jesus Christ. Okay, like, how do I relate this to a real artist? And then like, ultimately I fucking connected it to St. Vincent, and I was just like, yeah, this is weird and interesting too. Like, why don't you let's give Rattlesnake a spin, just to kind of like give you some perspective on musicians that are actually playing instruments or whatever. And like, they're in band, they play the trombone. So like, it's, I think, they know what music is and they know what performance is, but for whatever reason, like the digital Vocaloid thing is like proliferated itself into the brain of my kid. But either way, this is like a fun little thing that we got to share, and like it's definitely been an earworm that burned itself into my skull. And if you haven't listened to Mitski, if you haven't been on Sirius XMU because you're trying to stay hip with the college kids, then go seek out Mitski. This is a fun record. It's one of my favorites of 2026. And give it a spin.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for us today here on Six Picks Music Club. Thanks for hanging out with us in the clubhouse. And thanks for joining every other Wednesday. I love that all these women voices are so fucking loud, man. We are going to check the mailbag and see if we do, actually, because that's the format of the show. This one comes from Alex in Salt Lake City, and they write, "Hey guys, feels like the news ep could have gotten End of the World as We Know It, or We Didn't Start the Fire. Maybe those are two on the nose. Anyway, if this episode comes out and we're still not blown up, I guess keep it up. If you haven't heard it, check out the track Temple of Fire by the band Gran Moreno. I think it'll be right up your alley." Well, Alex, those are both great tracks, and while they do have direct references to the news, they didn't make the cut. R.E.M. is a hero, for sure. We love that whole band. Billy Joel's fine. Yeah, they're just fine, too. So, anyways, we will jam that Gran Moreno track as we close up the doors today. Thank you for the recommendation.
It's weird that listeners always like their new thing is just to point out songs that we might have put on the playlist. Listen, we have to pick just 2 songs. Of course, we could put more things on if we had 80 song playlists.
I think listeners also like they want to be part of the show. They want to offer what they would have picked.
I think listener doesn't know what it's like to make tough decisions. Sometimes you have to make hard decisions. It's called being responsible.
Well, Jeffro, I think you make a good point that, like, when you are part of a team, like, you work together and you work to find solutions, and it is not a one-man show. I couldn't do the show without you guys, and I'm really grateful for everything that you bring to it. So
you could, but you would have fewer fans in Azerbaijan if you did it by yourself.
Yeah, no, I would have fewer fans everywhere if I did it by myself. It would be not as good. Well, we will jam that Gran Moreno track as we get out the door today. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Our opening music is by the Shaolin Death Squad. Please go give them a listen, give them a spin. I don't even know if they're getting royalties off that stuff, but it's worth your time. So we really appreciate them, and we appreciate you checking them out. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks, listener. And as always, the tracks from today's show are in the Spotify playlist in the show notes. Give them all a spin, but make sure you play them loud and keep jamming.
This episode of Six Picks Music Club was produced by Lee Nolfer, edited by Amanda D.P. Throat, with special thanks to Dixie Rep.